Coming out of left field, no one was expecting it. Shaman King returned on Grand Summoners Global. So I thought since they all got buffed, quote unquote, we need to go through and revisit them all and see how they do in today's standards. Tell you some of the stuff that I've learned after using these characters for a pretty extended period of time. And why not go ahead and start with probably one of the most hyped characters from the entire crossover, the boy Hao. Hao, in terms of his buffs, didn't really get changed at all. The only thing he got was duration buffs pretty much across the board for his arts and his true arts. In terms of his passives, the main one that you're probably going to be looking out for the most is Future King. This autofills your own art gauge by 7 when your HP is 70% or more. And as far as his kit goes, he's able to get everybody art gauge by 20 and reduce the enemy's burn resist. And with the true art, he's able to reduce the enemy's magic resist. And if the true art burns, you're able to reduce the enemy's fire resist as well. Hao is overall just really freaking good. Like, he's a very strong character in a lot of aspects, but he's the type of character to me that doesn't really excel in anything. Like, you can utilize this character for his debuffs. You can build this guy as a nuker. You could just use him as like a regular old attacker. It doesn't matter. He can kind of do everything, and that's one of the biggest strengths about this guy. The biggest con to him is the fact that he has no innate damage buffs in his kit, apart from the debuffs that he applies onto the enemy. Now, the last time we actually did the showcase, I actually don't think I was doing like best in slot equips yet, and best in slot crest. I might have been, but not to, you know, how it is nowadays. So let's talk about these equips. Hao actually features all 5-star slots, which is another huge plus to him. For 5-star magic, if you're just going sustain routes, you know, always True Exceed Zex is a very good item. If you don't want to use True Exceed Zex though, you could always use something like Victor's Catsuit. That's a very solid one too. Alma's Hat, anything like that that gives you extra magic damage and art gauge will be really good. As for the 5-star support, if you're looking for a free play option, easily Lesser Demon Heart, amazing. If you've been playing the game for a while, you probably have more access to the AoE art shins. So in that case, you know, you're looking at stuff like Goku Uniform, Melty's Clothes, Malim's Clothes. You guys know the point, you know, pretty much any type of AoE art shin. And as for the 5-star physical, there's a few that you can run here. If we're going sustain, I recommend True Izanagi for, you know, just the overtime art shin. It's really nice. Or one equip that I really like, it's actually from this crossover, is Harusame. So it really gets Hao going, and that's one of my favorite equips from this entire batch. If you're nuking, however, one item that really sticks out in terms of nuking, which is just an insane item for pretty much anybody that has a physical slot, is actually going to be Scissors Blade Decap Mode. Decap Mode gives you 80% damage and reduces the enemy's fire resist by 30%. The fire resist is nice, but you're mainly doing it for the 80% damage up. You can usually use this on any nuker or anybody that you want to hit hard in the game, because 80% damage is something serious to say the least. Of course, you could also just have him hold something that's just going to buff up everybody else's damage, like Gem of Rags or Angelus's True Weapon, also really solid. And as for the crest, you got a lot of options here. You got attack up, equipment CT, Promise of the Funeral God, art gauge up as well. Now, I will say, since he is out during the Shaman King crossover, because of course that's the anime he's from, if you wanted to, you could actually use something like Spirits of Fire on him. As you see here, the attack 200 up and fire damage 10% up. That's pretty solid. Or you can use something like Integration. Integration gives you 7% arts damage up, which is also really good. These are more so new player crests though. Once you are able to start farming Crest Palaces consistently, you're going to be getting rid of them. But, you know, if you're a newer player and you want getting one of these, you could easily put this on your Hao and do well with it. And by the way, we have already checked out his animations, and dang, I didn't know I had that many quests cleared on this guy. We have already checked out his animations before in the last video, but still, you know, his true art is insanely beautiful. Just really sucks that it's extremely long, but hey, it's still one of the best looking true arts in the game, in my opinion. This is the team we're actually going to be rocking with in terms of a nuking strat. We got the Forte here, we got the Melty, we got the Haruto, and of course the boy Hao. If I actually wait a little bit longer, I maybe, you know, wind up pulling Summer Lisa. I would definitely be using Summer Lisa here because she is coming out in the next few days, instead of someone like Haruto, because I mean, it would just be more damage overall. Last time we did this, he was a pretty hard-hitting damage dealer. Just the main problem with him is that it took a while for him to actually do his damage, which is definitely the worst part when it comes to nuking with Hao. So let's see what happens here. We're going to pop all of our equips like usual. And wait, do I have Tree Escape? Okay, I do. Now let's see what happens. I actually don't know if he can one-shot like with this. I'm pretty sure he can. Let's see the damage. And wow, I didn't know Haruto was going to get a true art off as well. Okay, I mean, you know, not the best. I mean, not the best damage. You know what I'm saying? Not the best damage, but he will be able to kill Vows and Death. Let's just see. I really wish that we had the other damage test that they've hinted at on JP already, the one that has like infinite health and it's just like a timer. I would definitely try him up against that. Also, I don't know what I was doing. I apparently did this for 4 rounds. 6.6 million from the boy Hao. Definitely could have been more if I got into the break first before actually dealing the damage, but that's pretty solid to be honest. And just to show you like how a regular nuke goes, it's not a training stage. Let's just go into like a random crossover event. Let's do like the newest specialty X, and I'll just show you kind of how that works. Also, I could take off Nox because it doesn't benefit Hao at all. And I mean, it's just gonna be big damage anyway. But here's the problem, right? Look when Hao does his damage. Look, the boss is practically already dead from everyone else. So yeah. The biggest con to using him as a nuker is the fact that his true art just takes actual years to come out. Let's look at the damage real quick. He still actually hit really hard though, even though everybody else pretty much dealt the damage before he got his damage off. Still 2.2 million. Really nice. Now I'm gonna use him in sustain, and this is usually the team I like running with them. Some type of fire attacker, that usually being Natsu or somebody else. Maybe a Berwick or someone that is gonna benefit from Hao's debuffs. And then the boy Hao himself, I'm mainly going more of like just a debuff route. I don't really care how much damage Hao does, but he'll definitely be able to hit hard in this team. And then of course we got the Mako and the Haruto. I don't mean to have type 0 on, by the way. I'm changing this. As mentioned before, I mean, Hao just kind of does it all. He's being able to support his team with the art gauge, plus his insane damage buffs that he gives. He's able to hit hard himself due to the fact that his multiplier is so high. He takes like hardly no support to really make him hit extremely hard. Of course, in nuke setups, you'll want him, Jesus Christ, you're gonna want him to have like a lot of damage buffs going into him though, especially if he's the main nuker. But overall, I mean, this guy's clean, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing else to really say. This guy is a clean unit. I mean, look at that. That was just easy peasy right there. Of course, this guy does take more damage from, I think, burning and fire units, but I mean, that was a clean run, and you can expect that with a lot of stuff. You guys also saw that I did use Hao in the mines recently, and Hao in the mines was still just as strong as he's always been. I actually used him with Natsu as well against, I think, Raiders, and they just nuke Raiders every single time. Let's see the damage real quick, and look at that. The boy Natsu, 3.9 million, and this is also a really good matchup too, because both these characters burn, and Natsu is a character that really likes, you know, dealing damage to burn units. But you know what? Just for the fun of it, there's one more thing that we need to do. You damn Skippy. Yes, sir. We gotta do this damage challenge quest just to see what it's like. See how much damage the boys can hit for. I haven't done this one in a while, but I wish that we had more of this stuff in the game, because these are really fun to do. Of course, you know, the damage here is heavily inflated because I think like the enemies don't really have like crazy amounts of damage resist or anything like that. But it is fun, you know, just to like go through and actually beat the brakes off these guys and hit extremely hard. But yeah, one thing that I actually don't know how it's happening is how the heck do we have a damage resist down on... Wait, am I missing something? I don't think I used Mako's art. Yeah, how the heck do we have a damage resist down? Yeah, I have no clue how that works. Either way, though, I'm happy the boy Hao did get to come back, because Hao is a very good unit. He's not the best unit in the game by any means, but he's just overall a very strong unit, very potent option for pretty much anybody's account. Even if like you don't have a lot of fire units, he's still just insanely strong. Very self-sufficient too, because the 7 art gauge per second, as long as above 70% HP, is pretty generous. And yeah, like the main negatives to Hao, as I mentioned before, just no innate damage buffs apart from his debuffs, and the fact that his animations are really long. So in nuking settings, you know, you may not be able to get his true art off all the time. He is a menace when it comes to Oldius though. If you guys need a nuker or need somebody to like actually one-shot Oldius, he can one-shot Oldius really, actually extremely well. I showed that off too, by the way, in my like how to nuke Oldius guide, or how to auto it. I actually used Hao in that video because his slots are amazing, and he can easily just completely nuke Oldius by himself. Actually very curious to see how much damage the boys hit for, because this seems pretty good right now. And there we go, that's the end of it. Let's see how much damage the boy Hao did, even though this is heavily inflated. Let's see the damage numbers. Goddamn, is that motherfucking 6.9 billion? Is that what that is? And that's still not nowhere near Jeff Bezos' net worth. So yeah, Hao, cool unit. Very good. If you get him, be happy for yourself. Not much has changed since the first time I showed him off, and he's still just as good as he was back then. Even in JP right now, people still use him quite a bit, even though people say that he's fallen off, which, yeah, damage-wise, I don't think he can keep up with a lot of the new, you know, damage stuff that we're seeing nowadays. But in terms of debuffs and just overall, like, versatility as a unit, really good. But that's gonna be it for this video, man. Thank you all for coming out. Tell me down below, did any of you guys get lucky on getting Hao, or do you guys already have Hao? Let me know how you guys are feeling about him down below in the comment section. I know some of you guys never even stopped using this boy ever since he came out. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend check out either one of the videos popping on your screen right now. Great content, guarantee you'll love it. And oh yeah, before you leave, don't forget to drink water.